Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
I'm Valerie.
And this is Sheila.
And we are
Today's Litches.
I'd like to say hi to everybody tonight. For those of you who don't know what Litches is, it's lady bitch.
And we're pretty good at that.
Yeah, apparently. So we've been told.
This is our show, Sandwich Generation. And on Sandwich Generation, it's our perspective. It's our
Gen Xers.
Yeah.
We are Gen Xers.
We're kind of sandwiched between
we have our parents above and our children and grandchildren below. So it's kind of our unique sandwich perspective on things. So I'd like to say hi to everybody tonight. And first of all, before we get started, let's get Sheila so we can see the comments.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot.
Tonight, new news.
So new news. All right. Well, first, I would like to start out by acknowledging February as Black History Month. That's not necessarily new news, but where we're ending the month, I would like to acknowledge that February is Black History Month in Canada, the US, the UK, and a couple of other countries. And that since 1995, I believe December 19th, 1995, it was adopted in Canada officially as February being Black History Month. And I believe the United States and Canada were the first on board with this.
Right.
So moving forward, we'll let Sheila tell you about our other new news. And it is new news because it's today.
It's National Bullying Day. And just so you know, pink shirts, we wear pink shirt day, they call it also. It includes wearing your pink shirts and stuff like that. And it's really, did you know that Canada was the originator?
No, and this is
news. To the rest of the world.
Canada is the originator of the today being, and I think it was anti-bullying day, and I think it was adopted the
U.S.
into the U.S. and many other countries as well. But it's the third Wednesday of every February.
Here in Canada
as anti-bullying day. And I know in BC they have pink shirt day.
That's right.
So we wanted to acknowledge that.
And with that, I also want to acknowledge that with bullying also comes senior bullying. And we'll be discussing senior warehousing or seniors as our hot topic.
Right.
So it just ties in and says, hey, be nice to our seniors.
Yeah.
Just
because we're all going to be there someday.
We're all going to be there someday.
Hi, Dad. Hi, Kathy. I see you on there.
Yeah, I tried to get it on my thing, and it's telling me
the same thing video. I told you before. Remember, it didn't work, and we had to use the phone.
Yeah.
But some people don't listen.
It's hot topic.
Hot topic. Oh yes, hot topic. So I think I posed the question, is Canada warehousing seniors?
Yes.
And to get into this, we had to do a little bit of investigation. I went more so on the solution side, as did Sheila, but Sheila also dug deeper into the differences between senior facilities and how we tend to mix them up.
A little.
And I think
a lot, actually.
I think we need to clarify the differences between the senior facilities, like the difference between long-term care and assisted living.
Right.
And the difference between hospice and
palliative care
and those differences. I think once you know those differences, and it's a little bit easier to sort of manage the conversation. So I'll let you get into the differences first.
And we're just going to make this kind of condensed version because we don't have a long time to talk about this, right? So LTC, or long-term care, often includes a personalized plan of care prepared for each residence. Clients in care receive 24-hour nursing and personal care with access to a physician or healthcare professional. Facilities are dedicated entirely to detailed care and are secured for optimal patient safety, medication administered by trained staff, and a number of other high-level features. The waiting lists can be months or even years for long-term care homes. A more accurate term, though, for them would be actually end-of-life care, because it seems in long-term care homes, private suites are seldom available, almost never. The unpleasant fact is that long-term care is primarily a place where people come to die, and the average stay before death is about 1 year.
Okay.
Okay. In contrast
to
being seniors moving into independent living and even assisted living. Okay. Simply because it's a better than being on their own. So they're actually making the choice because it's better than being on their own. Okay. So people move into independent living.
And we see examples of that all over the place.
Right, including our own families. Right. In a different way.
In different ways. So I think we need to differentiate between the...
And it is government regulated. They are federally regulated. And by the looks of it, they're pretty good.
What are you talking, assisted living? Well, it depends on how much you can afford.
No, and that's exactly what we were
now talking we're about. Getting into the crutch of the problem. Okay.
Is and a lot of people that are ending up into long-term care facilities.
Right.
It shouldn't be in long-term care facilities, but should
more of an assisted living. Sort of.
And we had talked about, what about assisted living at home?
And see, okay, so because we don't have a lot of time, and this is a huge topic, and yes, as it's been brought to attention, more so as of late because of the issues, particularly in Quebec and Ontario.
Right.
And I think we need to be upfront about what's going on there in Quebec and Ontario. And I'm not saying that other provinces.
You mean in Ontario, because Quebec's not letting.
Well, see, here's the difference. Really. That's the difference. Quebec is not being forthcoming about their numbers and about what's actually happened in their facilities, their senior facilities. However, Ontario, because of the mess, has really opened it up, and which has laid the ground now for, yes, pushing forward for change. But this is where I'm drawing a little bit of a line here, and I would like to explain that I think there's no reason why we have to reinvent the wheel here. There are fine examples in this world of ours.
And you had mentioned that earlier today.
Right. There are fine examples in this world of ours, how senior care is managed in different models.
Yes.
And is more cost effective. And so I think right now, leading the way from the investigating that I was doing, we're looking at Germany, right, Korea, and Japan, leading the way, and both financially and also in the quality of care that is received. And what that means is that they have gotten away with, and they do not have long-term care facilities. Okay, so
care is offered at home.
Yes, and I know our structure on how people get paid, like doctors and practitioners, nurses, would have to change. But with this model, it is more cost effective to have the nurses do a 12-hour shift in somebody else's home. Right. Or have an LPN, or, I'm just saying, or a practitioner of some sort. They've realized that, unless it is actually that end of life, right, that the hospital is open like it's open to anybody else at end of life, whether you're there because you have cancer, whether you're there because you've been in a traumatic accident, or what have you. The issue is that the facilities do not exist. They've poured their money in providing the same care at home, in their homes, even the transportation and everything back and forth to their appointments, their grocery, everything, as long as it's physically possible. And at that point, that they're looking at end of life care.
Right.
Right. And so that would transition if the parties did not want to have end of life at home, they could be transported to a hospital like anybody else.
Right.
And so although Germany, Korea, and Japan have different models, all of them have this one thing in common. They do not have these senior long-term care facilities where somebody's residing there for year after year, although it's supposed to be more towards the end of life. That's not what's happening. And then we have to look at the alternative, the assisted living.
Right. And that comes at a cost.
And I'll be honest with you.
And how much money?
Privatization, because they're privatized, profit and loss is their business, right? And although they may have subsidized beds by the government, they are relying on their other people, residents there to pick up the difference. Pieces. Right. The reality is that, if you have $5,000 a month, if you have $8,000 a month, you can afford the best of the best quality of care in the private world, right? In privatization. And this is where I have realized that privatization, particularly in the senior industry, has created a two-tiered system. Where, of course,
a government-funded basic a system, and then you have people with money.
Right.
The difference.
And I think that's the issue. Difference. Now, I also...
What you had talked about about the Netherlands.
The Netherlands have been working on these projects, and they're almost like mini cities or towns. They have their own hospitals, their doctors, their specialists, their grocery stores, their hairdressers, everything. But it is senior community living.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And they use this now. Some seniors require more help than other seniors. And some seniors will, work at the coffee shop. They get paid, but they might work there 2 days a week or whatever at the local coffee shop or what have you. Yeah. They have your own homes. Right. Yeah. There's duplexes, there's townhomes, there's regular homes. There's also more apartment style living and complex living for seniors that require more care.
Okay.
Right. And they found, and it's government funded, and they found these communities to be thriving communities. Right.
Right.
Wherein not only are they our seniors are within their own, safety net, if you will, right? But they still have active living, right? And it's not like they can't have their grandkids come and stay for 2 weeks or a month and whatever. That it's not like that. It's not regulated. That it's like your own home. Right. And however, you are now living almost like in a resort community full of seniors. Right. And that's something that they've been working with and doing, and it seems to be quite successful, all of which have proven to be more cost effective than subsidizing or putting dollars into facilities. Okay. It's basically the general crutch to it.
Because one of the problems that we have had is the fact that we have people who are working in they might be a personal care worker, and they might be working at a long-term care facility, but they're only getting part-time hours at 22. So they might, it says between 22 and 28, so it doesn't sound like they're making a bad amount of money, but when you're only working a guaranteed 18 to 22
with
hours.
No benefits, because let's face it, if you're part-time,
that's right,
you don't get benefits.
So you don't get the benefits. And then on top of that, they'll go and they have to take on another job. So they might work at one's a government, say LTC, and the other one might be a seniors care facility or a seniors assisted living.
Right. And I think...
See how it can cross?
No, I know it crosses. I think for me, the mistake everybody... want to make the same mistake over and over and over again. So I'm asking everybody to take a step back and really look at other models, other systems, what works, what doesn't work. And before we start, charging forward with change, right? We're all in agreement that there has to be change. There is no way that we live in a first world country like this and any of our seniors should have to suffer in some of the ways that has been brought to light over the past year. And I think that's something that needs to be addressed. And I do know that Trudeau this is on his agenda.
I know it said here, I had a quote from Prime Minister Justin Trudeau admitted on April 23rd. So there you go, right in the middle. Right now, we're seeing terrible tragedies in long-term care facilities across the country. We can do better. We need to do better because we are failing our parents, our grandparents, and our elders, and the greatest generation who built this country. Nevertheless, painful lessons are still being learned. Going forward in the weeks and months to come, we will all have to ask tough questions about how it came to this. As Trudeau said, what questions are eventually asked and what steps will finally be taken, we look forward to seeing.
Right. And so, I applaud, the government for stepping up and acknowledging that obviously we have a broken system.
Yes.
Right. And however, through my investigation, I do not believe privatization belongs in our healthcare.
Not in Canada.
Not in Canada.
No.
You're creating a two-tier.
There's a reason we don't and didn't do it in the first place.
Call us. We told the socialists. We told this. But that's what makes us.
That's what makes us.
That's what makes us great. You can judge a nation. I forget who quoted it, but you can judge a nation by how they treat their indigent.
Yes.
Right. And I would like to belong, or I'd like to be part of a nation that treats all of our population with the same dignity and respect that I believe that I deserve as a Canadian.
Yes.
Right. And I believe everybody.
And so you just pass it on to everybody else.
Your religion, the color of your skin, whether you're 89 or 14 does not matter.
No.
Right. That I would like to be in a great nation where we're all equal.
Yes.
And we're all.
And I would like to be in a great nation where when we look upwards to see our seniors, our parents.
Yes.
We're seeing them live comfortably to the end of their days without worries or concerns because they have given so much to our country already by going to work and doing and being a good citizen. That is the one thing that they need but coming from our government.
Amen.
Right.
Right. And I applaud that. And I guess nothing can be more said to that. But that's the reality. That we need to address the fact that there is our parents, their parents, us. We helped build this nation.
That's right.
And our children and grandchildren are continuing that.
To build it.
And guess what? You're going to be there.
Yes.
We're all going to be there.
Yes.
Right. More around the corner for us.
Yes.
Than for our children or grandchildren. But if we can push for change and get a system that is equal for everybody, and that our seniors do not have to struggle to put food in their mouths, to afford their medications or what they need.
Medication. Now that blows my mind. The fact that we even have to speak about that.
Affording
that there
medication.
Are senior citizens who do not and make choices between eating and their medications regularly every day in this country. And the fact that and so I started to look to kind of walk the walk and talk the talk was I have sent out an email to my MLA and a request for some information on his opinion on things.
Okay.
And I'm saying that if we want to know and we want to make a difference, it's time we started asking about now.
Right.
We can't change anything if we don't even know what we stand in right now.
Exactly. And I mean, the thing is that we all know a change needs to happen.
Right.
We're all on that bandwagon.
Right.
We
but
all
what changes?
And that's the whole point. What are the changes that need to take place? How can we? I have one. One is that we have determined as a country, and I'll say it over and over again, we have done it this past year where the government has determined that each person, not family, person,
yes,
needs $2,000 a month to live
and
off
yet
of. Why do our seniors not get $2,000
if they need
a month
that to live on?
To live off of? That's one.
I'm all scared that maybe two people in a home might make, I don't know,
$4,000 a month. Well, hello. Have you? How do you need the $4,000 a month? I mean, to be comfortable, to not worry about whether or not you can
have a little savings account for the times when emergencies happen.
Right, whether you can fix your furnace,
buy a new TV.
But exactly, your TV goes. You need a new TV. Where am I coming up with that $1,300? Yeah. I mean, the reality is that there should.
I do know in the Netherlands, you just make a phone call.
Yes,
and you have every person has a worker. Mm-hmm. As soon as you turn a certain age, you're given a phone number and a person's name, and you have a worker that works with you,
and they get you a new TV.
And you call them and say your TV broke.
Right.
And they come to your home and they pick you up and they take you out to go get your TV.
Yeah.
And they'll do that for any home appliances.
Yes. And the thing is that stop putting our dollars in the wrong place. Mm-hmm. Okay? Like, home care is essential and key and should not cost anything to our seniors, because guess what? It is cheaper to pay somebody to go pick them up and take them to their doctors or wherever they have to go. It is cheaper for them to have somebody go in and clean their home. It is than to put you in a hospital bed or in one of these facilities, right? Now, there's the other argument is senior communities. Great, I'm all for that, but it needs to, most senior communities, and there's a few of them in our local area, I mean, it's going to cost you about, well, I know one that your home is $1 million, right? Yeah. Even though it's gated in a senior community and your private home is, I think it's 1.9 million right now, I saw it listed, right? But the reality is, who has that? Yeah. Then, okay, 400,000. Yeah. Why our seniors should not be having mortgages, okay? Like, they shouldn't have to be carrying those burdens. And I mean, we do have to have some responsibility for ourselves, right? This isn't a free handout or giveaway. You work hard all your life. It's very easy to see who the people are that actually went to work. CPP determines that. Yes. Right? So come on.
Yes.
Right? This isn't like, we're not, I hate to use the term welfare, but it's not,
it's not a welfare though.
It isn't. This is a right that you have earned for working and contributing and paying taxes,
being the good little citizen that you are,
and keeping people employed and buying and purchasing and everything else. And I guess that's the frustrating part of all of it.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, when you give seniors money, and that
seniors spend the most money. Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I worked at a very nice store, and they were often our highest spenders.
Absolutely.
So
because I think,
and when they purchased something, they were detail orientated. They knew what they wanted. It was exactly that.
Right. And they're still consumers.
Yes.
They're still paying taxes.
And those groceries.
Yes. They still pay their taxes. They're still consumers.
If only
they're still
when you
contributing.
turned 65, you didn't have to eat anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Or you didn't get sick.
Yeah.
Right. And you don't have to eat, you don't get sick. And God forbid you have to help anybody else in your family.
Yeah.
But it's just, I've heard this over and yes, it's a first world problem.
Yes.
But we live in this first world.
Yeah.
And
if we can make it right like that, why not?
And if we can make change for better,
why not? So make those phone calls, do those things.
Start writing letters. Oh, we're hitting almost 25 after.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because I just wanted to say, one of the things we've always mentioned almost every show is how it's important to try to make the change on yourself too.
Right.
And part of that means becoming involved. And sometimes it doesn't mean becoming involved in something every single day, because we all have enough of that anyway. But maybe asking the question.
Right.
Go to your MLA and ask them where they stand on senior housing and senior care in Canada.
Right. And
ask them about what they think of senior health care.
Exactly. And the thing for me is look at what's working. Okay. Yes. Take models that are working. Let's work from that. I mean, we don't have to create, this whole thing.
We can take what's already working wonderfully and tweak it even to our standard or to our.
Exactly. And that's my point. Even going back to, we talked about senior and cooperative living, right? Which there was a fine example here in Spruce Grove, Alberta, and I urge people to look into it. The reality is that it's a cooperative. Everybody has their own residence. It's their own little community. It's very, I'd live there.
Yeah. And it's all single floor.
Right. Very accessible. So, I mean, this could go on and on and on forever. And we do get pressed for time, but we wanted to bring awareness to the cause.
Yes.
And we also wanted to put a call out for action.
Yeah. Tell people to, it's time for all of us to relook at ourselves and what we need to know.
And what we have to look forward to.
Yes.
Right? Because we are all going to be there. And if we can move in a more positive direction, especially when we have the government almost on our side here, which is very rare.
Yeah.
So taking the opportunity to forge forward and push for change in an area that has been long overdue. Yes. I mean, this is needed to happen for decades now.
Right.
So, and it's unfortunate that it took a pandemic to do it.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So
what's up, Litches? First, I'm going to get started because I'm not going to say how far I am into my 50s, but I just found something that totally blew my mind. And I'm not joking. Sheila couldn't believe I did not know about this because I struggle with this all the time. You ever buy like tinfoil parchment paper and I'm honestly not making a things are so easier. It says our compliments, but anyway, and then every time you go to pull something out, the whole thing comes out with it. I had no idea, none, that there are punch holes in the side to prevent that from happening. This is a game changer. Now, apparently a lot of people knew this, but I know there's got to be people out there like me who did not know. Game changer, people. Yeah. Pay attention. So now I'm going to be looking, because not all of them have them.
No.
So now
the smaller packages often
don't. Well, now I'm going to be looking every time I purchase these to make sure they have those, because I'm sick and tired of fighting with them. And my 50 some odd years, I am so pleased with this invention.
Okay,
that's my what's up.
And my what's up is I did turmeric, and I did it last 1 teaspoon per day for a week.
Yes, you did.
And it was nasty. But I did it, and I cannot lie. I probably will not continue to do it. But
it's that nasty.
It's that nasty.
Okay,
I would have to sprinkle it on more than what I was doing, because in the end, I was just like taking a piece of toast and threw a whole teaspoon on it, and then going,
oh, gross,
and getting it in. But the truth of the matter is, I hate to say it, it worked. I did not wake up one day
But you can get pills.
I heard that I think they called it berberine is what's in the turmeric, and you can actually buy it in a
Well, I mean, if it's working for your joint pain and everything, fine.
But hey, what surprised me was how quickly it worked. Okay, so like to take it, and then the next day it worked, like that was weird.
Okay, so I have a theory. Okay, my theory is it tastes so crappy that your brain convinces you it works just so you can get it down the next time.
No, I thought of that too. I did think of that. No, I did. But no, that wasn't it.
It's kind of like, oh, what's that yucky medicine? Yeah. Buckley's. Oh, yeah.
Or castor oil.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and you know that's making a comeback, everyone? Castor oil. Ew.
Ugh.
Okay.
All right. So that's it for tonight.
I hope we gave you.
We need to tell them. Next week we will not be live.
No. You can come and visit us though, because we'll be premiering.
We'll be there. Yeah. Okay. We will be there. We'll be there to, do
answer any questions
and everything. We'll be live that way, but it's coming up as a premiere, and it's going to be
premiered at the same time, 6
o'clock. At the same time, 6 o'clock, only it'll be the edited, pretty cut video, with the before and after and the transitions. And, I got to use my editing skills now. Anyway, so that's starting next week at 6 o'clock. So you'll be able to view it on your TV like a premiere show. Yeah. And you can still talk to us and everything because the live chat will be open and we'll be on and we'll be able to talk with you during the show as well. So wanted to give you the heads up on that.
And I hope we gave you something to chew on.
Certainly hope we gave you something to chew on.
Have a great night, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.